How's it going, guys? And welcome here to Barca Variety, and I hope you're all doing well after yet another disappointment from Barcelona. But in today's video, we're going to be looking at the game once again, and we're going to be doing a player rating 1 through 10, and we're going to be rating each player because most of these players performed very badly when it mattered. We're going to be talking about it in full length and in full detail, so let's get started. And if we do get started with the man in goal, Marc-Andre Ter Stegen. This is someone who has come under lots of criticism after this game, simply because he didn't come in the big moment. He didn't come up in the big moment where we needed him the most. I thought in the first goal was the one where he could have saved it. He came out, but Ter Stegen needs to be more brave. He needs to be more confident in himself. He needs to take that risk. When you come out and you close down the angle, you can see in that first goal, he is not completely closing it down. He leaves too much space. He needs to be more brave, Ter Stegen. And for the second goal, maybe he could have not done much, but you know what? Ter Stegen, horrible from him. Once again. 5.5 out of 10. Maybe it's a bit harsh, but Ter Stegen, he has to perform in these huge nights, in these huge moments. Whether it's in the Champions League, whether it's in La Liga, he needs to perform on the big nights. Well, then we do move on to a different story and a whole different situation. Samuel Umtiti. Because this one, you don't have to blame it all on Umtiti. You can also blame it on Ronald Koeman for starting him. This is someone that hasn't played in so long. He is lacking some sharpness, and he played like 15 minutes in our last game. And for Umtiti, I'm going for a 5.5 out of 10. Again, the same rating as Marc-Andre Ter Stegen, just not good enough. This was his final chance, and it is over. His time at Barcelona is coming to an end, and I hope it comes sooner rather than later. I thought he was committing too many fouls. His positioning was awful. He wasn't close to the center backs, Piqué and Mingueza. So from TT, a 5.5 does it for him. But then we do move on to another center back, Gerard Piqué. Because Piqué actually, I think he is one of the players that fought yesterday. He is one of the players that was 100% focused. And you gotta remember, this is someone who has just came back from injury, who is still having pain in his knee. And for Piqué, it's a 6.5 out of 10. Maybe it could have been a 7, but I thought without him, we would have conceded much more goals, and he tried to get that equalizer in these final moments. Then we do move on to the last center back of the three, Oscar Mingueza. Because Mingueza had a good game, but you can say he had some bad moments because he was the problem for that first goal. He couldn't intercept it, and he should have intercepted it. He should have went in more aggressively. And for Mingueza, it's a 6 out of 10. You gotta expect more when you're playing in such a big game, and you're a 21-year-old playing for a club like Barcelona. But then we do move to the one of the wingbacks out of the two. Jordi Alba, it is really tough to decide because you can say he didn't affect the game at all. He wasn't bad. He didn't make any defensive mistakes. He didn't really do anything to get a bad rating. But for Jordi Alba, a 6 out of 10, simply because we saw the threat he can pose on that left hand flank. And in yesterday's game, he didn't do that at all. And you have to expect more. Again, when you're playing on this huge night, you have to expect more. I thought Jordi Alba could have done so much more in attack. Well, then we do move on to a horrible performance, and I really mean horrible. Sergi Roberto. And this all goes down to Ronald Koeman. Why? Because he didn't start Serginho Dest. Why would you start Sergio Roberto if you have Serginho Dest. Serginho Dest has been in brilliant form, and you start Sergio Roberto. Sergio Roberto, simply awful from him yesterday. Nothing in attack, way too slow. He can't cover his back when he goes up to attack, and the defending. Also, it was awful. It's a 5 out of 10 for Roberto. It really is poor. But then we do move on to Sergio Busquets. I thought Sergio Busquets was one of our best performers yesterday. His passes were simply magnificent. He was getting all those passes to Messi, to Griezmann, to Roberto, to Alba, whoever is in attack. This guy is a maestro. And for Sergio Busquets, it's a 7.5 out of 10. He was brilliant on his day. But then we do move on to a similar situation, but a different player. Frankie de Jong. You can compare him to Busquets of how he played yesterday, but Busquets was a lot better. Frankie de Jong, you saw he was fatigued yesterday. You saw he was burning out. You saw how tired he was. And for Frankie de Jong, he was very, very tired. He is playing lots of games. Ronald Koeman tried to rotate, and he decided to rotate Pedri instead of Frankie. And you can't blame everything on Ronald Koeman. He has to work with what he has. And for Frankie de Jong, it's a 6 out of 10. We saw the other day how dangerous he was in the box. In today's game, he wasn't dangerous in the box, and he wasn't doing too much. He wasn't creating any chances because you saw how tired he was. But then we do move on to an 18-year-old. And this is a player that you can't criticize too much. Simply because he's 18 years old. He's got a lot to learn. And for Mariba, it wasn't a good performance. Let's be honest. Not because he made any mistakes, but simply because he didn't provide us the creativity we were hoping he would provide us with. And for Mariba, it's a 6 out of 10. We all know he can do better, and we all can expect from him better. But he's got a lot to learn. But then we do move on to one of the attackers out of the two, Antoine Griezmann. Now, this one is gonna have mixed opinions, okay? And let me know what you think of Griezmann in the comment sections down below. But Griezmann, I'm gonna go for a 6.5 out of 10. Simply because Griezmann, his connection with Messi in this game, it was outstanding. I loved how him and Messi were connecting with each other. They were always trying to find each other, and that is one thing I'm liking the partnership of Messi x Griezmann. But then, there's a huge problem with Griezmann. He is not the player he was at Atletico Madrid. He could have got a goal to help his team in this situation. I know he did get that beautiful assist, but we all know Griezmann can do more. And we all want more of these players. We all want these players to reach their full potential, and we all know how good these players are. They just have to come out on the big stage and prove how good they are. But then, speaking of Griezmann, we do move on to another attacker, Messi, who had also a good game, you can say. Messi, he got that goal. He did his job, I felt. He was trying to drop deep because Barcelona weren't too comfortable, which started the game very, very slow. So he tried to drop deep. But for Messi, I don't really know what to say. He scored a goal, but then he did miss a huge chance in that first half around the 30-minute mark, 35th minute mark, and that was a huge chance missed. And if he got that, it would have been maybe game over. But for Messi, I thought he did his job. It's a 7.5 out of 10. He got his job done, and he relied on other players to help him because he simply can't do it all alone. But then, we have to talk about the person responsible for all these players, Ronald Koeman. 'Cause after the game, Ronald Koeman came out and he said the defeat is mainly due to the lack of concentration in defense in the two goals of Granada. You have to intercept the ball on the first goal and leave less space. And he's talking about Oscar Mingueza. And this from Ronald Koeman, I thought he has to take some blame. Because Ronald Koeman, you have to remember, he did get that red card at the wrong time. Because when Grenada equalized, Ronald Koeman was panicking. He didn't know what to do. He was just shocked and he was scared to drop points. So then he started to complain and all of these stuff and he did get himself sent off. And what type of message did that send to the players? What type of message? You could imagine that it sent a very bad message to the players because they're gonna panic as well when they see their coach that is responsible for them panicking as well. And I thought Ronald Koeman in the last, we had a lot of time to win this game after they scored. It was at the hour mark, the 65th minute mark, and we had a lot of time to get that winning goal. But Ronald Koeman, he did get that red card. It made his team panic and think we're gonna drop points. It lost confidence. We couldn't handle the pressure, and that is how it ended. And I also want to talk about Ronald Koeman's substitutes. He got it all wrong over there because you look at his substitutes in the second half and in the final 20 minutes where he could have done. He was panicking. He was just putting everyone on. And you have to expect more from Ronald Koeman as a Barcelona coach. Ronald Koeman, it's a 5.5 out of 10. But the important thing for Ronald Koeman is that he keeps on learning. Not like the previous coaches that we've had. He needs to learn from this. Not like Ernesto Valverde and not like Kike Setien. If you remember, these two, they didn't learn from their mistakes. But Ronald Koeman, he has to stay more calm in more games. And he needs to get the right substitutes. And Ronald Koeman, we are all putting our faith in him to bring us this La Liga title. And guys, everyone is going crazy after this game. But I just want to say one thing, that we can still win La Liga. We all know that we can still win La Liga, but what a shame. What a shame that we couldn't get those 3 points to put us top of La Liga. But we all know we can still win La Liga, but we are not in the driving seat anymore. We cannot control the league anymore. We will have to wait for our opponents to drop points and do what we can do. But of course, we turn focus to the Mestalla, a tough away game to Valencia. It won't be easy, but we have a tricky run of games coming up, and they are coming up very quickly, one after the other. And tomorrow, the build up will be coming all up for you. And if you did enjoy this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more videos, let me know what went wrong for Barcelona and how would you rate each player in the comment sections down below. And I'll see you in the next video.